Good morning and welcome back on this fifth day. And yesterday we had this profound story made modern, made relevant through this subtlety of what is happening in the mind. And this beautiful option we have, this world of Sita and Ram. So the starting position, the home of the invisible traveler. This is a world of joy, love, and equality with Ram. And that is our yoga and aim also to experience this. And then everything should stand out. So I love the references that come, different quotes. Philip Randolph said, "Freedom is never given, it is won." So if we are in Ravan's kingdom, if Sita has crossed the line and gone into darkness, she also needs to work with clarity and light, and then there will be victory. It's not a given, but it is not completely straightforward. And as is said in this insight from Voltaire, French writer, it is difficult to free fools from the chains they revere. So this is seen sometimes if someone is captive, they actually may protect those that are holding them. And it was seen in Stockholm, many years kept, and they were actually protecting the one who was keeping them away from society. So in the same way, if we protect Ravan, if we work for Ravan, we cannot be freed from the chains. So this necessity to understand Ram and also respond to his prompts. And finally, many have said it, but Carl Sagan, who is science communicator and astronomer, don't believe everything you think. Question your own assumptions, challenge your own beliefs and seek evidence. So if we get a prompt from Maya, not to immediately buy into it and see what the options are, as was beautifully put yesterday, to know we have options. So I'm going to hand over now to Prashant, and we'd be happy to hear from you as always, your thoughts. Good morning.
Oh, and very welcome. Yeah, thank you for a quick summary. Yesterday we saw the psychodrama, and we said that this is like a subject that needs revision to understand. It is not just a story, it is exact detailed description of how different factors in our mind are in action, and what is the defeat and what is the victory, what is the spiritual effort for, the essence. It is nicely, that story summarizes it, and quite extraordinary. In the story, they personified these different aspects, different functions within us, and ordinarily very abstract, but when you personify them, it becomes easier to understand. And if you understand clearly, as was said, if you understand the line very clearly, you can see it. If you can see the enemy, the friend, the battle, then only you can win. If one has not understood this, then it is a confusion. And Just one little confusion is enough to get victory, to lose victory. Today we'll be coming to the new subject. We'll create a few minutes of attention and then come to the subject of today. As always, the first step for us is our intellect. It's a game of the intellect. And with this intellect, with the paras intellect, your model is different. That is the main difference. Your model ideas of how you see this world is different. What is important for you? What is your notion of victory? That itself is very different. And what are you seeing? You are seeing the alakik. You are seeing that dimension that is extremely subtle and eternal. That is your reference. You are seeing the sky. Whilst the world is so caught up in the ant world and trying to get a little more sticky sugar in the ant world, you are seeing the sky. And when we are seeing the sky, we are seeing that everyone is immortal. Everyone belongs to this one family. All are alokik. They are all invisible players. All are good. And everything is good. And we see this big map, then we can see what is happening in this little physical world. We see that as a story. So everything that happened since morning, it happened in a story. And since it is a story, there is nothing to complain, nothing to worry, nothing to be obsessed about, nothing to cry for, nothing to crave for. So different perspective. Just intellect is different. As I said, everyone else, their intellect, they are totally trapped in that story. They're trying to change the story. It's a bit like a childish intellect. It's trying to change the film, like worrying about the film, want to change the cartoon. Here the game is different. You have seen the sky. You operate with sky as a reference. Thank you. I wanted to ask if there are any questions that came up from yesterday. Do we need to address? And then we come to the next subject.
Thank you. I think largely covered, although this question was maybe answered in between, but it was how can we get rid of Maya in our practical lives? And it was addressed perhaps, but if there's anything you want to add.
Maya, as discussed in the story, now we said Maya comes with the intelligent arguments. And time Maya says, do it later. We check in within ourselves. What is Ram telling us? Ram says, now or never. Anything that is right, why do it later? You know, devil, it has to be stopped now. It's not tomorrow. Maya comes with the language, you are weak. Ram tells you, you are a Shiv Shakti, you are the powerful one. As was said, Sita is like Ram. You know, Sita, Ram reminds Sita that you are Sita, you are the queen. Maya will tell it is very difficult. And Ram says, for the queen to be the queen is not difficult. You know, it is natural. It is the easiest thing. Maya will say it's a long, long process. It might take many, many years. Ram says it's a decision. Once you want to drop something, it is not a difficult thing. It's a game of 1 second. You woke up. You have understood a new way of looking at it. It's a game of a second. Maya will come with many, many excuses. And it is interesting. Same brain we can use to think of solutions. Instead of thinking why I can't do it, see how I can do it. This Maya will come with different doubts. Here you have to think of, bring yourself to the level where there is absolute certainty about every aspect of knowledge, so that there is no room for the doubt to come. That nice word in Hindi, nishchay. Nishchay means you are certain. It is not based on faith. It is not based on belief. It is not a model. you are very clear. Just like right now, here there's a curtain behind me. I'm not having faith that there is a curtain. I see the curtain, and then I act from there. So here also, you are seeing very clearly that we are the travelers, and we got a home, we are immortal. If any questions, doubt, discuss it, become so clear that you operate with that model. We don't have a evidence of the other model either, that this story is our world, as if this is the only world. There is no evidence there. But people operate with that as if they are so sure. This whole science is based upon that model, that this is the only world. But that is a belief. And we have to become free from that belief also. And do your own research, your experiments, your search and creating time in meditation, but come to the level of nischay, that you are sure. Then your foundation is strong. Another form of Maya, we said Maya will keep you busy with lots of Ravan's projects. Ravan has got unlimited projects. You are busy with that. Here, you remain busy with the projects of Ram. Keep yourself busy. Question what you are doing. What is your end destination? If you are clear of the end destination, then lots of Ravan's projects will drop from your life, because they are short term. Ravan is not able to see the big map. Ravan is looking for short term gratification. So when you see the bigger map and you are seeing the sky and you are happy internally, you are full, you got a bigger treasure, then Ravan's crumbs. Ravan is offering you some crumbs. You become free from those project crumbs that you become free from.
What are the projects or the activities of Ram?
Here, the first thing is for you to discover the sky. That is a big thing. Experience that. Become free from Ravan, become free from Maya. This is like a big area for yourselves. And then you realize that if such is what is in front of you, such is the prize, then if you love anyone, the highest thing you can offer to them is take them out of that ant world, to offer them the sky, show them their extraordinary truth in a small way. But it is a huge project. Ram project is a huge project. Ram's project is to free Sita from Ravan. And there are many Sitas in the world. And if you want to cooperate with that, a lot can be done there. But you are thinking that way, that is freeing you from Ravan's projects. Yeah, that's nice. We'll come to the subject of today. And broadly, the subject is on karma. We don't call it karma, but it will be subtlety behind the law of karma. But we will discuss it in the light of nature. What is nature trying to achieve? Nature is a word used everywhere. There are magazines with the word nature. But in science, there is no clear definition of what nature is. There is vagueness about how to define nature. But we all know what nature is. So we don't need a definition, but we know what it is. And one thing that we can say, and big statement we are making, that nature is our friend. A question for you, is it true? Is nature our friend? And what ground do you say nature is our friend? It's simply just some random statement, nature is our friend. Why?
There's the anthropic principle.
And what does that mean?
I'm not sure, but maybe they can explain. Yes, because it is a part of us. It's a friend if you are treating it as such. It's a kind of life force. It's delicately balanced in our favor. That's perhaps the anthropic principle. It helps us to grow and evolve in life. We wouldn't be able to live without the trees providing us with air. We are one with nature. Body is made of by nature.
Yeah, very good. Now, one simple demonstration of this. You cut, you get some injured and it's cut your finger. Within fraction of seconds, literally, the mechanism starts to heal it. Very, very complex mechanism. Mechanism doesn't start to punish you, but the mechanism doesn't start to create problems to you, but mechanism starts to heal it. And same thing is happening constantly in our body at hundreds and thousands of different levels every day. But body is constantly, different things are happening, and natural mechanism fixes it. We are alive. This is the evidence that nature is our friend. Nature is also a friend of bacteria, and nature is also a friend of plants, and nature is a friend of planet Earth. Seen from this angle, you will see that various laws that exist in chemistry, physics, and physiology, and all the laws that exist, they are not random laws. They are there to protect. So they got a intelligence behind. They protect something or other. Maybe they protect this planet Earth, and so very intelligently things are operating here. I'm not going too far in this thinking, but enough to know that it is very delicately balanced, it is nicely put, and it is in our favor. We are alive because of nature. And it may appear sometimes, nature, in this world of nature, there is death also. But there are things to seen from bigger map. You will see that there is a protection of the species, and the life continues, the species continues. There is an intelligence behind, and it is in our favor. So the very effective system, whether it is medical system or political system, they need to learn the nature, see what nature wants to achieve, and to cooperate with nature. Use nature in your adventure. Then you will have more success instead of fighting with nature. Okay, so in this such a friendly, very, very, very kind nature, there is something called pain. Why is there pain if nature is our friend? Do you want to tell? Nature is our friend. So why nature gives us pain? Pain is the worst thing that can happen to anyone. So why is nature giving pain? Life would have been so much better if there was no pain.
Maybe it's a clue that we are going wrong, to tell you when something isn't right for us. Maybe it's to heal.
Yeah, pain always gives a signal. If I'm in the wrong posture, pain draws your attention to the danger. There is no pain is not random, just some pain. And also pain is only there where you got a conscious control. Where there is a will, free will, that is where the signal is required, because I can use my free will to create problem to myself. So the pain is required to control my free will. So if I sit in the wrong posture, before I break my bones, there will be pain. If I touch some knife, there will be pain. If I was to eat something that is not right for me, there will be pain. Bad smell, all this is pain that tells me I shouldn't go further. Nature gives signal and helps me to be safe. Where there's no free will, just to give an example, our intestines, for example, I don't have control over it. There is no free will. And there are no pain receptors there of the kind you have on the skin. When a surgeon wants to operate on the intestines, he needs anesthesia just to go past the skin. Can you believe this? Once he goes past the skin, then he doesn't need anesthesia. He can go there and cut 3 feet of intestines and remove it and suture the remaining part and come out of it. Patient doesn't experience pain. You need anesthesia just to deal with the skin. The pain receptors are at the level of the skin. So pain is there wherever we have got a free will. Tips of the finger here. There are many times more pain receptors than rest of the body, because here you are more likely to hurt yourself. Tips of the finger. Some part of the body, there are less pain receptors. That's why doctors, maybe if they want to collect some sample of blood, they choose area where there are less pain receptors. Now, different kinds of pain. We said pain of the wrong posture, pain of bad smell, and nature gives different signals. Now, some pains like headaches, and some arthritic pains. What are they telling you? They may be telling you that your lifestyle is wrong, your diet is wrong. They are telling you something. No pain is there without any signal. And some people are clever to understand the signal. You sometimes get a patient who says, if I eat a certain item in the first bite, and maybe it is not good for me because body tells me, body doesn't feel comfortable. Stomach doesn't feel comfortable. But then I eat other things and I'm okay. I feel okay. But maybe it is not good for me. Nature is telling you. The moment you take anything in the mouth, nature tells you whether it is right for you or not right for you. You don't even have to swallow it. Just put it in the mouth and nature tells you. We have to develop this, natural signal. If we block that sense, if we don't listen to the nature, then we can complicate our life. If I don't hear from the nature early signal, like for example, this lady, she says, I eat something, maybe it is not good for me, but I eat it anyway. I eat other things and then I'm okay. I don't have problems. I mix it with other things and I eat. And you do it every day. So what will happen? Nature will give bigger pain to give me a signal. And I ignore that bigger pain. I go to the doctors give me some painkillers, and now I don't get headaches. Nature will then step up, and that's why there are more complicated illnesses, because the early signal I have ignored or I have blocked, or our medical profession is helping to block. They may just remove the organ also. It is giving pain, let us remove that organ. We said system is a good system if you are working along with the nature. If we are working, opposing the nature's mechanism, then that is not a good system. It will create problems down the line. Any system. Why? We are in this world of nature. We cannot challenge this nature. In this physical level, physical world, we are. It is a foreign world, as we said. It is not our world. We can't dictate the laws of nature. We can understand the law of what are the laws and then work with those laws. So different kinds of pain, different illnesses. Then there are emotional pains. Why are there emotional pains? Am I doing anything wrong just to get some pain? Is it not unfair that I am given this pain? Without my fault?
Different kind of signal.
Sure. What kind of signal?
It's well, it's a signal to tell you something is not right, maybe connected to attachment. So you get a signal to invite change, a different posture of thinking. The same principle, but at subtle level. Do we bear the pain, assuming it's the effect of our karma, or take medication for it?
Sure. We said that when we are coming to this foreign world, we need to stay behind the line. Remember, very first day we were mentioning that there is a dotted line. It is a line of ignorance. It's a foreign world. It is a story world. No problem. I visit that world, but don't go and start creating bondages in that world. Don't become dependent on that world. Don't start claiming things. All of that is like tying yourself to that foreign world. Then there is pain. That's the only reason for pain, emotional pain, when you cross the line. We say, wrong posture. You are coming out of your posture, then there is pain. To cross the line here is going in a wrong posture. There will be pain. You come back in your right posture, there is no pain. You will discover that absolute state of security. And when you're secure, you're discovering that you discover your highest emotions. emotional happiness, contentment.
The idea of pain is to give signal, but we should shift the posture, take the message and make a change.
Yes. So we saw different kinds of pains that exist in the world. And we also saw nature is our friend. So if I don't go in a wrong posture, nature gives comfort. You enjoy your life. It is like we are happy to be in the world. Nature wants to serve you. Nature is your friend. Only when I go in a wrong posture, then there is pain. But without pain, you are enjoying your existence. So everything is nice. Nature offers you all this, a world of miracles all around you. Extraordinary variety that is offered to you for you to enjoy. But stay in the right posture. Don't cross the line. There is still one more kind of pain. What is that? We saw all kinds of pain, physical pain, illnesses, whole range. Here we are seeing whole range of illnesses. They are there only because there is a wrong posture. There is nature doesn't want to give anything unpleasant if I'm in the right posture. So there's still one more kind of pain that exists. What is that?
Yes, it's something that is ordinarily as if unexplained. It's hard to guess it, I think. Yes, pain of emptiness, one suggestion, which could be psychological pain. Someone who's perhaps said this before, saying misfortune. Emotional pain, I think we had that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are talking about misfortunes, and we see it as another kind of pain. And why do these misfortunes come? So we'll try to see this subject in some detail. And for this, let us see, the time when we first come in the physical world. When we first come in the physical world, our inner life, remember the photograph of the soul. If we are to take the selfie of the soul, what will it look like? In the beginning, when you first come, you are 100% soul conscious. And because you know you are a soul, you don't define yourselves based upon that foreign world. You don't start claiming things. You have not crossed a line. You are not so confused that you think things in the story world is you. You are not created that. So when you are in that state, nature is in harmony, and there is no reason. You are in a right posture. As time progresses, and you are associated with some job, and people are praising the job. You get promotion. They are putting flowers and building your statues. Then you are gradually creating an identity based upon the job. You are saying, maybe I am this governor, such a great governor, the one who does very good job. So you are defining yourselves based on the role, based on the part in the story. But soul is started to create this false identity. Okay, you create a false identity, very small, but nature sees it as a wrong posture. Nature wants you to be 100% clean. And the moment nature sees it as a wrong posture, nature has a mechanism to remove it. And to remove it, nature brings this mechanism of pain. The purpose of all this pain is just to remove this. That is the only purpose. What kind of pain? We said earlier, nature is very, very intelligent. There is the pain. Where there is free will, there is pain. If I put my left hand, in fire, I don't get pain in the right hand. I get pain where it is required. Nature is very efficient in giving me the message, right message. So here he creates an ego based upon the governor. What kind of pain will remove the ego that he has created? Do you want to tell? Nature cannot tell you, oh, darling, you are doing something wrong. Nature hasn't got that option. Your grandmother might tell you like that, but nature has got only option of giving pain. So what kind of pain will remove your ego around the governor?
Maybe the possibility of losing the job, panic attacks, someone's saying bodily pain. It'd be nice if nature did have the option of saying, darling, fear, maybe in the next life won't be successful in their career.
Okay, one is next life, but here nature sometimes brings pain straight away. And in this case, the only way he will drop the ego around the job, around the role of the governor, is if he loses the job.
Or some competition at work, someone else with the better credentials.
Something like that, yeah. So some situation around the job, and that really forces him to drop his ego. Losing the job is one example. So when we are showing this bubble here, green bubble, that represents the situation that comes, a painful situation. In other words, misfortune. What we are saying here is this ego that is created, it invites this situation towards him. Ego is created based on the job, and it invites a situation of losing the job. So now he's left up without a job, and a huge ego that I'm the governor and there is no job of the governor. And that forces him to drop that ego. I'll give some example. The one lady, the real example, she said she created an ego based on her famous husband. I'm the wife. That is the identity. And so she would tell anybody who this so and so, I'm the wife of so and so. So that ego was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what situation should come for her? That ego, what will be the bubble that will come to remove that ego? In her case, the situation was husband gets married to somebody else. And that, new situation now, and the ego is there. I'm the wife of some person, and that person is not there. So that is forcing that ego to die. So these bubbles that are shown here, we call these bubbles Vinash forces. Vinash is a word for destruction, and these are forces of destruction, misfortune. But they are destroy. Their aim is to destroy the ego. But in the process, they don't care to destroy anything. Such is the nature. Nature doesn't worry about anything. It has got such a very clear priority. Just as if someone has got cancer, doctors have to remove the cancer, and sometimes to remove the cancer, you may have to remove some organs of the body also, and surgeon will do that to remove the cancer. So also here, nature sees it as a serious illness. Anyone gets into these false identities, and when nature starts to act, it will act with force of destruction. You may not have chosen to remove that, but nature removes all this. And so different examples we give. Anyone? Any of you got Vinash forces? Any of you seen in the past some Vinash forces?
Yes, it has been observed.
The reason we are discussing this, once you understand the cause, then we can do something about this. When we don't not know the seed, then we are helpless. We say, oh, why this is coming to us? But when you understand the reason, you can change things. Good example is, say smoking and cancer. Prior to 1962, the world did not know why cancer of the lungs cases were increasing everywhere. And no one knew why they are increasing all of a sudden. In 1962, first time the studies was published, and it showed clear connection between smoking and cancer of the bronchus. And then that was 27 times more in those who were smoking than those who are not smoking. And it was very clear evidence, 27 times, you can't argue there. And okay, so some people say, are you blaming the smokers? Are you blaming? Maybe some might use it to blame the smokers. But because you understood the connection, worldwide, millions of cancers were avoided. There was education and people stopped smoking, and there was the whole machinery. Now in this country, for example, in England, in Cambridge, rarely see anybody smoking in public. Smoking incidence has reduced so much. As a result, cancer of the bronchus, so many cancers are reduced. We were able to prevent cancers. Same here. We are understanding the cause of Vinash forces. All Vinash forces, all kinds of misfortune, we are understanding there is a reason. And once you see the connection, now we can do something about this. Different identities. People create identity based upon wealth. Then the Vinash forces will come through the wealth. You create identities based on relations, like this, husband, wife. Then Vinash forces will come in relations. You create identities based upon body appearance. It will come to the appropriate. It is not random. It will come so that you get a message, you get a signal. It is an intelligence mechanism, that is coming to teach us. These are not forces of punishment. They are forces to give us a signal. Vinash force is giving us a signal. Nature has given a signal, sometimes very soft signal you get. If you are clever, you understand the signal, you change. If you are not understanding the first signal, then nature will give stronger signal and stronger signal. I'll give one very good example of this, and it helped me understand this principle also. And one lady here, her second name is Gray, and she was a student in Cambridge many years earlier. And as a student, she said she was surprised to hear that overnight she had become a millionaire. Someone had written a will and she was to receive the money and houses and business and whole thing, land, property. So overnight, she was now amongst the top rich people in the country. She was still a student. And as time progressed, she says she created ego based upon her wealth and her life, created ego. She uses this word, ego. She uses the word. And life was going well, but some years later, she noticed that there were some problems. Just like suddenly, some president may introduce new kinds of tariffs or taxes or something like this, and suddenly things change. World scene changes. In the same way, suddenly the world was changing, and there were problems in her business, and problems were increasing. Different banks were involved now to help her with the business. But then, next phase, there was a bankruptcy. So there was a huge problem of bankruptcy. I wanted to use a different color here. So there is a bankruptcy, and the receivers come in. Everything that she inherited went, straight away. And she had one small flat before all this inheritance. And these banks, 8 banks, were trying to get this flat. They were competing amongst themselves. And she's suffering, in herself. And she tells that she was embarrassed to tell that she's not rich anymore, which means that's what the ego is about. She was borrowing money from others to keep her style. She still has to buy the right things, and so that was going on. And one day, she says, she was on the balcony, sitting on the balcony, and saw one homeless lady on the pavement on the other side. And she sees this scene, and she gets a thought, I will join this lady. If I get another letter from the banks, I'll join that lady, become homeless, start my life again. I'll give them the flat, give the keys, and I join this lady. She calls that moment ego death. Something died in her. And And to her surprise, within next 2 weeks, she receives 8 letters from these 8 banks telling her that they all want to help her. And the story goes on. She sort of finds out more why, when they changed their decision and all. But the message she saw when she died here, when she changed her position inside, this changed. This Vinash forces changed. Outer situation changed when she changed her inner situation. When she died to the ego, there was no need of the Vinash forces. As long as she was holding on to her ego, the Vinash forces were required. This story gives us an idea. She could have learned the message first day. The nature always gives signals beforehand, and she could have learned the message and dropped the ego beforehand. If she was on wiser, she would not have created the ego in the first place. And then there was no need of all this chaos in her life. She could also have never learned the message. In this case, she at least learned the message after 6 months. There are many who never learn the message at all. The situations come one after other, hammering the soul, but you never learn. Just go through pain. And the Vinash force is just get increasing. Keep increasing. As we often say, we learn either through wisdom or through pain. There is a nature as a mechanism. We have to change the posture. We can change the posture through wisdom. That's why the intellect and all this, you understand, and okay, you take the position accordingly. Or we learn through pain. If I don't learn through wisdom, I have to learn through pain. Yeah, you have to add anything? You want to say anything?
Thank you for building this topic up. And yes, it was a good point about the connection between smoking and cancer. Just to draw the lines, we have to take responsibility. It's not blaming, and that we are all in the same boat in this level of mind and attitude to the physical world. So it's today one thing for one person, tomorrow another. It can happen, anytime. So many questions came up, just to no particular order. Is it possible that one person's ego can impact another person's life, like the wife's ego could make the husband lose the job because of her ego about the husband's job?
Yeah. No, bottom line here is if I sit in the wrong posture, I need to get pain to change the posture. It is not that someone else gets the pain if I sit in the wrong posture. Nature's mechanism is 100%, connected with this. There is intelligence, there is efficiency.
And in the same way, you can't take someone else's inesh, like sometimes traditions that they say the guru takes the
Illness of
wrongdoings.
someone else, yeah.
Yeah. Could you give an example of how the ego of inferiority is removed? So one is superiority about the job, but how about the ego of inferiority?
Yeah. Ego, so-called ego of inferiority, is there because underneath there is the ego of superiority. If you understand what we mean, like there has to be identity first. For example, right now, I'm taking just an example. Peter, let us say Peter, he's not the prime minister of the country. He doesn't mind. He's not a prime minister. He doesn't even think of it. He doesn't feel he's inferior because he's not the prime minister. But if someone who was the prime minister and if he's here, he will be feeling a little bit embarrassed that he's not a prime minister anymore, you know, and uh, he is treated as a commoner, or he's just some other minister even. He may be defense minister, but not a prime minister. He may feel a bit inferior in himself. Who feels inferior? That created identity created here based upon me being the prime minister. That identity feels inferior. You understand? And so there is identity. There is nothing called ego of inferiority. There is an ego, and ego feels inferior.
Yes, like two sides of the same coin.
Hmm.
There's some inquiry about love and marriage. So how do we go about a desire to marry, have a family? If I want to marry someone I love and start a family, isn't it also ego-driven? It's a bit confusing.
And not the whole department of love and relationship, marriage, that all that comes in this. We have to bring a stay order in this area, as a pause first, because at the present time, it is almost Ravan's kingdom. The Ravan is dominating our lives so much. The Ravan-based ideas, desires, Ravan-based structures. And because everyone else is the same, in the same boat, it doesn't appear wrong, it appears normal. Parents, priests, everybody, he taking everyone in that direction. So that's why we may have to first step back and see what is happening in our inner life first. Let me bring the Sita back into consciousness. Let me see who is ruling my mind, ruling my life. Without understanding this, to go into such big decisions about life, like marriage and all, it is a big commitment. It is reckless. So first, to step back, to get my own house in order, and then from that position we will know better what love is, what relationship is, and all the decisions about our life, present, future. What is in the interest of others? How can we really benefit others? We understand better from that position.
It's so challenging, isn't it, when the examples we have are, in a way, dysfunction has become the norm. And in America, they did an article, Forbes, that 70 to 80% of Americans consider their families dysfunctional, but this has become as if norm. So to understand what's happening, we might have to really, as you say, just pause to really understand what is the best contribution. If I want to bring love from the right space, we may have to really just for us to get ourselves really clear, and we can't rely on the prevailing model in a way. And this question is a very similar one, but I'll ask it in case you want to add something. Are we allowed to have love, brackets, hence attachment, for families, etc., without Vinash forces coming in to destroy it? What is it that crosses the line? Is it pride?
Yeah, sure. In the love, in the nature of the soul is love. When we are on the right side of the line, as we saw in the first 2 days, when you are secure, your life is of love, immense love, and love for everyone, selfless love, because you yourselves are full. There is no beggar inside you, no victim inside you. It is coming from that space of love. The word attachment we use for dependency. We don't want to get into dependency on anything. Leave aside human beings. We don't want to be dependent. We don't want to become slave. On top of this beggar victim, we don't want to bring in slave also. So this area of relationship is one thing, but becoming dependent, expectations, and all this creates dependency. No, we want to be free from that, and we cross the line. Our happiness, we experience happiness first. We need to know the richness of our own happiness. Otherwise, people go into various relationships and marriage even because they feel they are empty inside. They want to, they are trying to get fulfilled, get experience of fulfillment. But it is a fulfillment in the foreign world, fulfillment in their box. And there will be Vinash force because it is we are crossing the line. When you are first experiencing your own fullness, the alokik fullness and the wonder at that level, wonder of the self, and then you are coming in this world. Then your decisions are right, and relationships are right. Everything, whatever you are doing, is right because the beggar is not there. You are internally full. You come from strength, when you are experiencing that fullness and your own immortality, you are coming from that strength into this world. It has power and it has benefit.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciating the questions and also the response. Yes, someone is just commenting that they have a lot of friends, connections, who go into relationships or marriage to escape the feeling of being alone, to seek something from others, but most get disappointed. So I mean, we say in English, my other half, but you know, something on Facebook came up. I'm not looking for my other half because I'm not a half. But this is a new understanding, isn't it? The relationship is we need two empty vessels can't make each other full. What other questions we have? But if you want to conclude anything now, or
Yeah, one thing I want to add here. We saw the best subject of Vinash forces, but when we come to our life, inner life, is in the right posture. No false identities. You have not crossed a line. Then nature wants to honor you. So just as there are these forces of pain, Vinash forces, there are other forces, and these are forces of honor. That's what we use, that term we use. Nature wants to honor you. Nature is a friend. For example, Vinash forces, there will be poverty, loss. In the example we saw, bankruptcy, that is like a Vinash forces. When you are in the right posture, nature wants to give you abundance. Nature is an offering. We don't bring anything with us, but nature wants to give you prosperity. When Vinash force, nature wants to give illness. When you are in the right posture, nature wants to give you health. Nature wants to give you healthy relationships. It is like such a people honor this, no? To have great relationships, people with highest personality, noble personalities, divine personalities around you. That is like a great luxury. We don't bring them with us, but nature is offering us that. So at every level, every aspect, you will find there are forces of honor. Nature wants to serve you. You are not running after it, but nature wants to give you. There is a nice poem, in one of these Hafiz, a Iranian, Turkish Iranian, poets. If you run after the shadow, shadow runs away. If you walk towards the sun, shadow runs after you. So I understand this message in this way. When we are in these false identities, we are running after. I want wealth. I'm desperate after wealth. I'm lonely. I want company. Please love me. Please be with me. You are running after beggar. Running after everything. I want a job. I want something. Position. And when one is running after the shadow runs away. Vinash forces are coming. When he changes his inner game, he is discovering this, alaukic greatness, alaukic treasure, fullness at all levels, full. He is not running after anything. He is absolutely happy with nothing. He is not demanding anything in this. He is not a beggar. He is not a victim. He is not a slave. Not begging for anything from anywhere, from anyone. And nature will come to honor him. Nature will run after wealth also and people also to love him and fame. Nature will come to offer when he is not running after them. You can expect a miracle if you work at this level, at the spiritual level. You expect a miracle at the physical level. Unexpectedly, suddenly things, it is like there is a conspire. The factors conspire suddenly to honor you. But if the things are inside, the positioning is wrong, things conspire to create problems also.
Yes, you can't engineer it. The situations that come in life, and to know the option to work at the seed, like the root cause, rather than trying to manipulate or micromanage life. We have to put the essence right. And it answers really this question that came up: can we experience fullness in the inner world and in the outer world? Can we experience fulfillment? Or do we have to renounce in the outer world to be full in the higher world? You kind of answered it, but if you want to add anything. And the screen is a bit disagree with.
Yeah. And yeah, as you said, it is answered.
Acknowledging the other inquiries. Vishant's giving us half the picture at the moment. Oh, yes, better. So we could take a break now and then come back to this exploration, if you like.
Sure.
Is that a good timing? Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the question we could begin in the room, what message of pain have you experienced and how would you interpret them? How can we change the posture quickly and be serious about it before pain comes? Do you want to add anything, Prashant?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, maybe this could lead into sensitive areas. So just share what you feel comfortable with. And of course, what goes in the room stays in the room, you know, keeping that privacy also for everyone, safe environment. We've just put that question in the chat and we'll thank you so much and welcome back to this understanding of knowing the law so we can also understand and take benefit, but also not losing their simplicity. So, and just create a few moments of experiencing the bigger picture. Thank you so much. Today we'll be welcoming back Sanjay. So thoughts from you would be very nice. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and hello again. You know, probably all of us had this kind of sickness in our life. We wanted to be popular. We wanted to be liked. We wanted to be loved. We wanted people to say nice things about us. And whilst looking for it, we forgot ourselves. And we woke up when something happened, and that something is let's say, those I wanted to please start taking advantage of it and try to claim things from me. And now realizing that I need to take care of myself, and Brahma Kumaris gives me the best solution for it, because now that I know this model of who I am, really I am, and whom do I belong to, this model of eternity and immortality and being in a best family ever, and all are like this. So no desires are needed outside. I don't need reassurance from anyone. I know that I am loved by God Himself. I know that everything is positive because it is kind of a game. So why to bother I would say why to bother claiming and trying to gain this security out there? I have it in inherent way, just to know it, practice it, experience it, and have that feeling that I'm missing nothing. And if I remember that I shared this story about the popcorn, it was this was invented ego crusher. It's kind of Venus forces that come to crush the ego. Then once realizing that there is a better one, better popcorn done by someone else, it was kind of an ego crusher which make me stop and look how it happened. But this incident of the popcorn make me look for a solution how to do a better popcorn, and I came to become number one again in popcorn. So you might take a lesson by those Venus forces, as we saw in those other examples, and take the advantage and move forward. Like a game, yes. Nature is for us. It's our friend, so it will signal us when we are wrong. And nature will not be a yes man for us, because we know friends that are saying yes, yes, yes to everything we do, everything we say. Are they truly our friend? Nature will say no whenever I do something wrong. So just to consider that and learn from that and put the posture right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's like a popcorn, and we can apply it to small things and big things. So really learning through the small signal and through wisdom. I guess we always learn through signals. I don't know if you would agree, but it's like, how big is the signal? Is it just a hint? And it's true, when you were sharing, it made me think the world can be a family in a way. We can feel more like that. And then your thinking is what's of benefit to the bigger family rather than just a preoccupation with a few people. Yeah, that was coming up when you were sharing. So welcome back to everyone, and your thoughts, sharings, very welcome. And hello back to Bhajan. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us create a few minutes stepping back again. As was said, benefit is only if we are in the right posture. So first thing for us is, with the best intellect, we are seeing that this physical world is not our world. It's a story that is going by its script. 100% it's a foreign world. And real players here are invisible. They are more like the invisible witness. They're observers of this great performance that is going on. But they are alokik, they are immortal presence, observers of this, but they got their own world. Silently, they are aware they are lucky. In fact, their world is a wonderland, world where there is no reason for even desire, no reason for desperations, no reason for disappointment. What remains is a world of contentment, silent joy. World of 100% happiness, because no one has got beggar and a victim in them. That is what spoils things. So they are the ones who know everything is good. Everyone is good and everything is good. And in the story, there is a variety. Even within that, he is quite happy to play, to watch the game, but he doesn't create Vinash forces in that world. He goes happy to play the game, but play the game with wisdom. It's a game. He's happy regardless, whatever. Each scene is a wonderful gift. He wins the sky, also he wins the earth. That is, he enjoys his alokik world. He knows about it. He sees it as a wonderland. He knows he is full and lucky because of that alokik. And he wins the earth, because he finds every moment is a great scene of the drama as it comes. One time there are flowers, next time there are stones, then variety, performance. One time there is king, another time there is King Kong. So that is all the entertainment. Thank you. We saw this subject of Vinash forces. And sometimes the question arises, if I work, I do, all kinds of ego and vices and feed Vinash forces, and I die. There are people sometimes who can just commit suicide or something like this before going into prison. Is that, are they clever? If person dies, can he bypass all these Vinash forces? When we are seeing the journey of the traveler is long. Pattar thinks it is just one life. It is, he can escape, whatever. But here you are realizing that eternal traveler has got long journey here, and no one can escape. We saw the videos on the reincarnation. In this model, the reincarnation is part of this model, and we come back again, both positive, negative, whatever is our inner life, it continues. If I create a good habit, it continues from today to tomorrow. If I have some kind of if I borrowed something, I have lent something, it continues from today to tomorrow. The same thing continues from today to tomorrow at all levels, at subtle levels. Vinash forces travel from today to tomorrow, from one life to the next. The journey continues. That's why we see some of these Vinash forces are seen from childhood. They are born sometimes, and then there are reasons for that. Nothing is by chance. In this model, nothing happens in a random way. There are reasons behind. So, yeah, any questions that are? I'm not hearing the sound. Is it any reason?
Can you hear the sound?
Now I can hear.
That's good. Just this last point you made, it really helps to clear the clutter of waste that comes in questioning the drama. Why do bad things happen to apparently good people? And we have the option to use the energy to work at the roots and for ourselves understand, take benefit, and from there we can contribute. But a lot of energy can be wasted in this resistance to what is happening without understanding. Yeah, there are a lot of questions, I may say. No particular order. Good questions. One is, my job gives me stress. Should I take that as a signal it is not right and leave?
Now here the signal would be in what way I can change the posture. And it creates stress because of some kind of expectation, some kind of identification, but using that situation to change the posture. If I leave, the Vinash forces go with me. Wherever I go, those situations will come. Situations will come even at home. And one person said she had problem with her father, so she left the home, took up a job, a part-time job. Everything went really well. And after some months, she noticed that this new boss, he was behaving exactly like the father. And in her words, he even started to look like the father. So you don't run away from the Vinash force. We use the situation to change our inner posture. Why do I miss the sound? I think Sarah is speaking. I
No,
don't hear.
it's okay. I was saying something very quietly. I was just agreeing and thinking. Yes, and I feel like some kind of neutrality needs to come, say, with work, and then I think coming to terms with something that is resisted inside, then things can change. At least that's been my experience. Happy to hear any further thoughts. You need to understand the emotional, yeah, this is a comment. Are your traits, sanskaras, a result of karma?
Yeah, every false identity that is created, that is the seed of our sanskaras. So whatever word you use, but when the false identity is created, that is the seed. So also there are sanskaras coming from the true identity. When you are soul conscious, from there, different sanskaras come. Sanskaras that are noble and sanskaras that are backed by love and authenticity. Those sanskars will express from that space.
Should we try to read pain messages, or should we just go for the Paris intellect? For example, I have a headache and I'm not able to find out what I should do about it.
That's right. We don't have to analyze too much. Just change the posture, go for the best and highest. Be good at this. but also at the same time having this little develop our intuition, develop our discrimination. Sometimes the message may be very, very gross. If one has a headache, it may have direct connection with what we eat even. So we may have to develop this little observation, introspection. What is happening? What is the connection here? And then you learn an important lesson.
Why do some people seem to be able to swim through life easily? Everything seems to go their way, but they are not particularly spiritual.
Yeah, there are always reasons. They have brought the things from the past. In the past life that they had created a foundation. Nothing happens by chance.
Feels like some souls are on the stage longer and have had more time to create attachments, and some have just come, maybe.
Yeah.
Can I help others to understand his or her situation, or is it their journey? Am I on my own journey here? We can't walk in someone else's shoes. We leave it to their fate.
We can, what we can do. So more you understand what can really help, and how others can change the posture, then you will be able to help others. But we can't drink the water for the horse. Horse has to drink the water.
You can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yes. Does it matter if it is inferior or superior ego, as long as the identity is created? It's like same problem either way.
Either way, yes. The moment identity is there, it will bring problem.
Is karma also a character in the Ramayana story?
No,
Karma?
no. The Ramayana story was yesterday.
What is the reason if someone always feels they are not good enough?
Become soul conscious and discover how wonderful you are. We have to see the authentic, genuine, eternal greatness of the self. And this applies to everyone. Everyone is immensely beautiful, and there is a greatness and divinity there, godlike, and without exaggeration. And we just have to let go of this, what Maya offers in the story world, some crumbs here and there that prevents us from seeing our own greatness.
It can be like this minute, right? Next minute. We don't have to do something to prove at this level. It's right now. Yeah. Someone commented, in bereavement, you cannot always make a change. When we're talking about the posture shift, do you have any comments on that?
How we react, someone else's death, that is a question, yeah? Someone else leaving the body.
Yes.
Yeah, our posture is no one dies. Our true family is immortal. Everyone is safe. And then here, drama, everything is temporary. Everything is changing. And it is not our story. Even this part is played, it is temporary, and it is a part. It is not me. So we first get into this understanding, and then you have a different reactions to bereavement.
And I feel truly those reactions can be very helpful for the soul. It's not that you're kind of saying, oh, drama, but it's like really feeling the, honoring the soul. Maybe you might feel like a little bit more in silence, but at that time, it's very clear for the soul that they're not the role. So to have the presence of anyone with that awareness would surely be a wonderful contribution for the ongoing journey. But of course, it's a new programming, isn't it? It's not what we see in the ordinary culture. So, yeah. So another couple of questions that have come. As an example, would karma make you a very anxious person in one life if you were overconfident in a previous one? Or is there another reason for having an anxiety or anxious trait?
And all these are directly connected to false identities. Whether overconfident or that is separate department. But once we have created identities, all these heads of Ravan, they will experience anxiety in one situation, they will experience competition in another situation. Bigger the head, more is the reaction of these kinds. We know the answer, we have to shrink these heads, and as you shrink, the anxiety also becomes less. Absolute answer.
Yeah, beautiful, simple answer, something to experiment with. And maybe one more question here. When does dualism take birth? Or is it with the birth of ego?
I don't know how exactly it is understood, or dualism, but here when you are seeing the physical world as separate from us, the traveler dealing with the story, that is seen as a dualistic model, and that is right. That is a good thing. But if you have any other interpretation of dualism, that will be good to see.
It's a confusing word because it maybe it could be understood as happiness and sorrow. So when does that start?
Right. So the sorrow starts when the Ravan starts. Until then, there is just happiness.
So we don't need sorrow in a sense, because sometimes it's understood that we need sorrow to understand what happiness is.
No, so if you are, say, happy, one whole day you are happy, you don't feel every 15 minutes you need some kind of a shock to appreciate the next 15 minutes. No, if you're happy, your whole day you spend in happiness. We have the deeper references already, and that is enough. We know all the experiences in the past.
Yeah, it's a good example. So yeah, with no other queries now, but welcome also to share them. We can bring them in tomorrow. But anything you would like to add before we finish now, Prashant?
Yes, just this nice this understanding that nature is our friend, and nature wants to give maximum at every level. Things happen within the limits of nature. And it's nice to know this. So at a physical level, we play the game in line with nature. That is nice. Not to play the game against nature. And when you are coming here as a guest, really the guest, without trying to claim things, without trying to creating demands, expectations, be a vulnerable guest. Vulnerable guest doesn't start to collect things. He just remains vulnerable. Then the matter also honors you at every level. And this is a nice game to play. If we are clever, like what is happening, the whole spiritual university and knowledge is to help us learn through wisdom. And our aim is to make it available to the world also. So we more and more learn through wisdom. Otherwise, everyone has to learn through pain. And we have to make it easy to ourselves and to others. How to change the posture quickly.
Yeah, either way we learn, but nice to learn through a beautiful way. Be the honorable guest. I was just typing it and it misspelt, so it said horrible guest. So don't be a horrible guest. Be an honorable guest. And nature wants to honor, isn't it? Like itself is wanting to support life. So you're working with nature to be in your honor. Fascinating. And any homework to mention? Staying in the honor?
Staying in the honor, to come in that highest position of freedom, invisible witness. The lesser homework of the first 2 days that continues.
Draw the sketch, create time to experience Paris. Be the invisible actor.
You can also check in yourselves what are the current Vinash forces that are that are going on in the lives, if there are any, and see what is the message there, what needs to change, what posture need to change, and change the posture. It might mean some ego has to die, something you have to bow down, but do that and just see if it brings the change. We give the example of that lady who changed her, brought about this ego death and changed the behavior of the bankers. So if she could do this, without speaking a word, but brought about change, we can do this also. Know the power. It is in our hands to bring about this change. It might mean to some discrimination is necessary and some ego death is necessary. It will be good for us.
Yeah, very empowering, and on the back of the mind, back burner, it'll come very clear when we create this option to see this perspective. Look forward to. And tomorrow will be the last session of the 7 days, but I will mention now we will be having a follow-up following Friday to Sunday, and it'll be same hours, and it'll be the last part of the philosophy that will be 28th to 30th of March. Just to mention, we'll be in touch with more details. Enjoy the honor, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. store.